In today's video, me and my friend will go over a weird text exchange between a man and a woman and a Reddit story of a woman complaining that she can't get a traditional man. Lay back, get a snack, and I hope you enjoy the video.
I guess I'm just wondering what your expectations are from a partner.
Like, in terms of expectations from women?
Or men, I don't know how you swing.
Women, not men.
Well, okay, then yeah. What are your expectations for your girlfriend / wife / whatever?
Can I be honest about it? I might be seen as outdated or something.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Honestly, I'm looking for a traditional feminine woman, someone who isn't going to mind being the child rearer and homemaker, someone who's going to take care of her appearance and herself, and just all around is content to being a female in our relationship. I know that's pretty anti-feminist or whatever, but it's just how I feel, LOL.
I don't think that's anti-feminist or outdated at all. To be honest, that's pretty similar to what I want to. Kind of my dream if I'm being honest.
Really? Okay, let's stop here.
Okay.
And let's discuss.
So, about that first page of text.
It's really weird to me because in all the situations, they act like the dudes like this act like it's like a secret. Like they're gonna get canceled if they ask for a traditional woman. Like it's so cringe. I don't know how to describe it.
It's cringe, and it's like, it really isn't bad until you expect the woman to work. Like they're describing part of what they want, but they're not they're describing the good side of what they want, but they're not describing, oh, by the way, you still have to work. And so you basically have to do 2 jobs if you're gonna be my woman.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, because we'll get into that later what he says, but he's like, it might be anti-feminist. Like it's so podcast bro coded. Like I feel like I know exactly where the talking points are coming from.
Yeah, and usually when someone says, I feel like it's anti-feminist or whatever, that usually means it is very much anti-feminist. Like, yeah, it is very, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Yeah, very secretive. Like, are you sure you're not going to tell anyone? Like,
yeah, totally though, 100%. Okay, hold on, let's go back.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to focus on making my house a home, working on myself, and just be taken care of without having to stress about expenses or money, LOL.
What do you mean?
Just that I'd love a traditional man who's going to cover my expenses and make sure I'm getting what I want. Someone who brings that kind of masculine energy.
So you're looking for a guy who isn't going to mind buying you whatever you want and basically will just bankroll your entire life?
I don't know if I'd put it like that.
So you're a gold digger and a user, basically.
No, LMAO, I promise. How is that any different from you wanting your girlfriend / wife to take care of the home and your kid? It feels kind of like a double standard for you to call me a gold digger. More like someone who will take care of our family financially so I can take care of him and his kids, etc.
Okay, let's stop. Okay, so I covered this in my video and people like try to debate me with it. Is that a lot of women would love to be in a traditional relationship. Like this was kind of hinting at, and like it's not a secret. Like plenty of women would love to be like, you don't have to fucking whisper it like it's the Chamber of Secrets or something. It's so cringe.
Just that last night. I know it is cringe. It is cringe. But again, I think they're like, they know that they only have like, they're only really displaying like part of what they really
the part
want.
Where he benefits.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're like, shh, keep it a secret. Like, we can't let them know we want a traditional, marriage, but they don't have that to offer. Like,
exactly. And then when you think about it, why are you getting mad? And like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't get it. In their heads, I don't see how they separate the two. Like, what is a traditional man to you if he's not a provider? Like, that's what people say. I want a provider. She literally said it. I want a guy who has masculine energy. How are you going to ask for feminine energy when you don't have masculine energy?
No, exactly. But that's what this like red pill culture and stuff has done to men. Like, they really want women to be just kind of second class citizens, and they want them to do, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Like,
Facts.
They want the woman who would stay at home and cook and take care of the children and, clean the house, do the dishes, all of that. but simultaneously be at a corporate job where they're like a CEO or something making hella money. It's just not
Facts.
possible. It's
Exactly.
not possible. And they should try it if they think it is possible.
Do you have guys do that to you?
No. Well, I make it very clear that I don't want children, so that's never really been.
Does that has like you told a guy that up front and then he like tried to convince you later?
Yeah, and it'll always come up like, well, one of my exes, like we were both very firm on not having children, and it never happened. So, but then yeah, another boyfriend of mine was basically, he was like a red pill guy, like just a POS, and needless to say, that was a very dark time in my life. But he, was like, well, if you're gonna be bearing my children and blah 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 blah.
What?
You know, putting me into a role that I clearly didn't want, and I told him that from the start. But of course,
I just had a friend recently where she told a guy at the start of it that she didn't want to have kids, like she would adopt or like get somebody to have kids with, and like the guy flipped out and like freaked out and everything. And it's like, and it was weird because like she said that she would have kids, but like he wanted her specifically to birth them, and that's insane.
That's really creepy.
Exactly.
Why does it matter? Like, and there's a lot of reasons not to personally do it. Like maybe she doesn't want her hormones to be changed permanently. There's a lot of reasons why. And if like I know one of my relatives had gestational diabetes, and I know there's a lot of complications that go with that. That's just really creepy that he would be just so against it, and it's her body.
Right. And
see,
I
go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna, if she was on the other foot, I'd be like, it's your body.
Exactly.
No.
And the thing I didn't touch about in the video is like, I only had like one story about it, is like, I know so many guys who like pretend that they don't want a traditional relationship, or even the other way around. They pretend that they want a traditional relationship, and then as soon as they get in, they switch, and then they start, oh, you have to go get a job. Like, bills are high, you have to go get a job. Or I know we said that you know, but I want you to stay at home and take care of the kids while I earn everything. And that's why I put like the weird guys or whatever. I separated it into like 3 different groups of people, because there's so many dudes. I mean, he's kind of hinting on it in the messages, like, no, most normal people do not want to be the sole provider, especially if they just met somebody. You know what I'm saying? Unless like you're the mother of my children, which that makes sense because like that's a job. But like if you're my wife and I've known you for 3 months, why would I want you to stay at home all the time? That's why I say like most of them are lying. Unless you're a truly like selfless person, and like that's your thing, just to like give to people, then I guess. But that's like so rare that most of it has to be from a negative place, in my opinion.
Yeah, and those kind of situations, usually if it is truly from a selfless place, would come, I would think, after years of like seeing someone struggle mentally. You know, I mean, it's a very like niche, and it's very like not a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's get back to what this idiot said. It's not a double standard. It's different because the things that I'm looking for, emotionally stable, takes care of herself, good with kids, are inherently female traits. Good women naturally have that stuff. You're looking for some rich guy who can buy you stuff. That's not naturally part of being a guy. It's totally different. I mean, especially because of how expensive life is. In general, these days, you think I'm going to be able to afford a $500,000 house on one salary just so you can play dress up and not have to worry about a job? You expect to not contribute to the bills or the cost of living? Fuck you. I knew there was something wrong with you. No wonder you try to humiliate me at the restaurant. I should have left you right then and there.
My guy, chill out. I never said I was looking for a rich guy or a $500K house or anything like that. Just that I want a guy who can take care of me, especially if I'm raising his kids. How can your dream woman be the homemaker and child rearer if she's also working full time to pay the bills? I have absolutely no issue with gender roles or divisions of labor in a relationship. But you're not looking for a traditional woman. You're looking for a maid and a nanny who can also help pay your bills.
She spoke some truth. She ended him.
Truth.
She ended him.
Yeah. And I would just love to see what he has to say about that. He'd be like, well, Joe Rogan said.
Oh, in the last text message, I think he said F off. And then like 12 hours later, he texted her like, hey, do you want to hang out? So typical typical dude knows that it's not possible to be a single provider. I just don't understand. If I worked all day and then came home and the house wasn't clean, I would be mad about it. Like, he's speaking of the resentment that you would build up. Like, if you just were on TikTok all day and you didn't care, or like, and you weren't, I don't know what's the word, doing your household chores, because that is your job. And we'll get into the Reddit story in a second, but like, a lot of people, even a lot of women, don't think of domestic labor as a real job. And so sometimes they just don't do it because they think it's like your chores where you can just do it tomorrow. And that's not the case. Like, your husband in the traditional relationships, they expect you to do that every single day. They expect dinner to be done every single day. They don't care if you're tired or whatever. That's your job. But a lot of people, that's not found in a romanticization of it on like TikTok and Instagram reels.
Okay, let's see. Sorry, trying to parse all that out. So women do not see like house labor as an actual job.
Is that what you're asking if I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But men expect it. I'm just a little confused, I guess.
So like, when you like on it, if you go to the TikTok comments, what they think of, what the romanticization, what they think in their head is that they'll just stay at home all day and be on TikTok. Like, they won't work. That's literally what they say. I won't work. And especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, which is like a whole separate thing, like raising children is harder than office jobs most of the time. But they don't think that. In their head, they think that it's easier. That's why they want to do it. But it's not.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. And it's just funny. You know, you can't, even if you explain how hard it is to these guys, it's not going to make a difference. And, you know, a lot of I've known, I'm friends with a lot of women who, you know, have separated from their boyfriends or whatever. Yeah. And it's funny because when they talk about how the guy's interest as far as like seeing their child, it's almost like the woman has to put an effort for them to see the child, and they don't know.
Yeah, I got you. I've heard that happen.
I think the problem with what he's saying is that being emotionally stable, being able to take care of yourself, and being good with kids is not actually inherently feminine. It's just inherently what you should be as a parent and what you should be as a grown adult. I see nothing about taking care of yourself that should not pertain to the male part of the relationship. You know, good with kids, you know, a father should be that way too, emotionally stable. Both parents should be emotionally stable. It's just hilarious. Like, put it better in writing. So I'm just going to read what I said. But I said, men are very much capable of the traits that he described as inherently feminine. And frankly, they should have all those traits. My dad changed my brother and I's diapers as children. He played with us. He was there for us emotionally. He was emotionally stable. He, you know, was a good dad, was a good person, just as much as my mom was. It's these traits that he's describing are for good people in general. The fact that he thinks he is exempt from that is funny.
On to the next story.
I want to be a housewife, and there are men out there that want a housewife, but they want you to have a successful career first, then give it up when you're married. What gives? Some context, I am definitely more of a traditionalist when it comes to relationships and marriage. For all the men who will ask, no, I did not save myself for marriage. So let's get that out of the way and focus on what I'm actually asking, please. So I do want to be a housewife one day. If a man is good to me and takes care of me, nothing makes me feel better than taking care of him. I do want him to come home to a clean house and a delicious meal. I do think it is a love language, act of service, nurturing. I know there are men out there that want this. What I'm confused about is why, if you're unemployed by choice, they don't take you seriously. I do have a job, by the way. From my observations in my own dating life and watching others over the course of 10 years, it seems they want to find a career woman and have her stop working when they get married to be a housewife. For me, I don't see the point of running myself into the ground and building a career just to throw it away when I want to be a housewife anyways. Why is this? Is this about dominance? Taming the tiger and getting her to stay home? I don't know. Just looking for any kind of context here. It seems the consensus is that if you straight up state you're not a career woman and you really just want to stay home and take care of your man, you're lazy. But if you're a career woman, they want to convince you to leave your job and become a housewife, and they'll take care of you. Edit. Assume the woman already has qualities of youthfulness, attractiveness, health, happiness, fertility, femininity, and submissiveness.
Jesus Christ.
Not tolerating abuse, but letting you lead. I'm not going to argue over the definition of submissiveness, in traditional male-female relationships. Thank you. And
Okay, as a guy,
say it.
nobody wants to date a person like that. Like people don't. I didn't put it in the video because it wasn't my place and it wasn't the time. But I wouldn't. I kind of did. Most normal men will not date a woman like that. Like nobody wants a woman like that. That's annoying.
Like who just her whole life revolves around you, basically.
Exactly. And then secondly, the guys who do want that, they want to break you down and make you like their servant. So they want the role of breaking you down. That's why nobody wants to pick me's. And I'm going to make a video about that actually. But that's why Pearl is 40 and doesn't have a man, because nobody wants to pick me.
True. You're
Exactly.
right. That's so true, because men don't go for submissive girls. They really don't. They want to be the one to make them submissive.
Exactly.
And
then you even see that. Oh, what are you saying?
I was gonna say, I've seen it in my dating life, personally. Like, and these are two men I don't care about. I will be rude. I will be rude to them because they've been it's not unprecedented, or it's not unprovoked. They've been rude to me in their creepy, weird way of flirting. So this is when I start to not give a rat's ass. And so I'll be rude. I'll text them rude things, and they love it. They'll hit me up. They'll want to come see me. Like they'll come out of town to come see me, and of course I don't.
Exactly.
You know, it's strange. It's very weird.
Exactly. And so that's why I try to tell people. And then you see, well, let me say this. You see that in the scientific data around it, because people marry within their own economic class most of the time. Most people marry somebody who makes similar money to them, or usually men marry somebody that, like, you're never going to get an uber rich man who dates somebody who's homeless. Like, that's just never going to happen. And so,
who's a clerical worker, for that matter, which is
exactly.
So, I mean, you know.
And so it's kind of paradoxical. The best way to get a traditional relationship is to already be a high income earner. And that's what I was trying to explain to the women in my comments, because I had some of the women in my comments who were like, oh, I used to work a job for $80,000 a year. And then I met my husband, and they leave out that their husband makes like 300 grand a year. And so that part's always that the traditional influencers usually have college education. They're not just like some random girl he picked off of the street. Like, because if I'm a high, quote unquote, high value male, why would I date someone who is a bum?
Exactly. And that goes to my point earlier, how, you know, when I said I'm getting a career because I want someone who wants a woman with a career, meaning they have a career. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because it's hard enough work, you know, getting your own career off its feet, and you want someone with the same kind of work ethic, I would think.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't date a girl who doesn't have a job, because I wouldn't want to date a bum. Like, could you like imagine coming home or that's why I used the example in my video of like, imagine you spend all day cleaning and whatever, and then your husband comes in and he doesn't help at all. Like, he just takes off his shoes and then goes to sleep. Like, you would be pissed about it because you feel like, oh, you're a bum. Like, you were just in the office all day sitting around, and then you can't even come home and clean off your shoes or whatever. You'd feel away. And that's what I'm saying is, like, as a man, why would I want to date someone who just sat around and on TikTok all day? When I cook, I'm going to be cooking for myself. I cook better than most of the women I talk to. The only thing you could really do is clean, and that I wouldn't date a woman like that anyway, because I'd feel like weird about it. It'd feel like kind of sexist, to be honest.
I get that. And I'm
like, if your only thing you did was cleaning my house, would be crazy.
It'd be like, I'll pay you, and then you can go back to your house. Like, it's basically a maid, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
She's employed, but she's talking from an unemployed situation. Like, if a woman is unemployed. I think that's just not how it works. That's not how it works. Like,
exactly.
I mean, when you...
But no, a lot of women on TikTok think that's how that works. Like, I read comments and read videos all the time. Like, there are literally women who dress up, like, and they think it's like Cinderella or something. And they think that if they are super attractive and go to Walmart, some rich guy will swipe them off their feet. It's insane. But like, this is like how indoctrinated they are. And it's like, I don't know how to explain to you. I know people who are millionaires and they meet their wives at elite functions, like
exactly
fundraisers.
Yeah, they go for women who are in their tax bracket. I mean,
Exactly. Because where would you even meet?
I know, like, oh, I'm gonna go meet this girl who works at a coffee shop and I'm a millionaire. Like, it doesn't really make sense.
Right. And that's kind of what she's saying, because I guess like she wants to be unemployed and then just date around and immediately have a guy, buy into that. And I think that happens, to be honest. I've known of that happening one time, and she was like a drop dead gorgeous woman. I don't even know why she gave me a chance, but I was a
'Cause you're a nice
bum. I was a SoundCloud rapper. I don't know why she talked to me.
Hey.
I don't know. I just don't know how somebody gets that into their head.
This woman, you're talking about the Reddit lady?
Yeah, because she doesn't grow up in a traditional household, right? Like, because she slept before marriage. She didn't wait till marriage. So it's not like she's into the religious stuff like heavily, I'm assuming. So where are you getting it into your head that quote unquote high value men date broke women?
It's a fantasy that a lot, because I've bought into that before.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing to say, but I have. And
This is a safe space.
well, it's not like anything ever happened. I just was like, maybe if I go to this bar, like, to like a bar in like a well-off area, maybe I'll get a guy, and it's like,
Oh, okay, I got you. That makes sense.
like, but it's not like there are actual potential suitors there. It's like old men who are jaded and have been divorced twice. So first of all, it's not really what you want. Second of all, it just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen like that. Like, you really
So
have to actually be like part of the socioeconomic. You have
class.
you have to participate in their
World.
Yeah,
no, I think part of it is because I just realized this, like thinking about that. A lot of women have told me that they actually listen to red pill podcasters. And so I think a lot of them are literally getting it into their head that what they're saying is true. Like, I only think of that because everything that she listed in the bottom is something that a red pill type of guy would say.
She took it verbatim.
Exactly.
So weird.
And then, but if you look at all of those guys, the women that they're married to, they're not any of those things.
No,
Most of them, what are you saying?
I was just going to say they either have their own company and they run
Exactly.
it, or, I mean, they're probably attractive and healthy because they have access to healthcare, and women just get skinny the higher in the socioeconomic ladder they are. Like, I don't know why. It's just, that's how it is.
Like, I'm pretty sure Jordan
afford, like,
Peterson's
Botox
wife. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jordan Peterson's wife literally is a highly educated woman.
Yeah, I don't know any red pillars off the top of my head, but yeah, Jordan Peterson's wife is very educated. In fact, I bet.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Peace.